Greetings, brothers and sisters. So to start off with, I want to have a reminder here, or I'm giving a reminder, I'm a little bit tired this morning, that I'm still going to post videos on the apocalaughsnow channel. Probably every day I'll post videos on both channels, at least most days. And yesterday I posted basically a follow-up video to the video I made for Pockets of the Future yesterday about how the media and Hollywood are always pushing crazy conspiracy theories on us. And here you can see proof that JoJo plagiarized The Soul of the Nation. This show, Salvation on Amazon Prime, a CBS show. Kind of a crappy show, but there is a couple of episodes that basically are predictive programming for everything that's happening with Trump. In the last couple of weeks of the Trump administration is all in the show, and I cover that in that video, so you can check that out. And I'll do some reminders about this because it's probably better just in terms of the algorithms to post videos on both channels. So I'll be doing that for a while. So then there's this. I haven't really watched this yet, but I know it's going to be funny because it just, here we are. There is Kamala Harris and Douglas Emhoff. I don't know why I said Joe. JoJo. And then there's Jane Pauley. And there is a football. I show you guys far enough away because I think this is not safe enough. You guys, maskless, no masks. Jane Pauley, no masks. She's got to be in her 70s. So this doesn't appear safe enough. Maybe we should do a football field length away. Or, And so let's get this thing rolling.
No, do I call you Doug? How do I address you?
You can call me Doug.
Okay.
You can call him Doug. He's a down-to-earth guy. You just call him Doug. How do you address him? This is going to be epic. Hard-hitting questions coming in this one, I'm sure.
Okay, Doug.
But of course, he isn't just Doug. Doug Emhoff will be making history as the first husband.
Listen to the echo. He's not just Doug. He's the husband of Kamala Harris. He's not just your ordinary Doug.
Of a vice president.
First gentleman.
Second gentleman.
This,
First, second.
This is so confusing, Doug. Doug, try to make some sense out of this for me. Doug.
Second gentleman.
okay, I'm afraid for the next week or month or year of your life, you're going to be doing something like you just had to do with me.
Oh, wow. Jeez. This is some hard-hitting journalism. Let's get this thing. I want to know what are we going to call Doug? I mean, I'm so confused now. This is epic. This is going to be a wonderful presidency. Let's spend the first week about what we're going to call Doug. It's just, so confusing. I don't know how, the second gentleman. I don't know if I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, it's all good.
So second gentleman it is.
There was a whole conversation about, mostly among his friends, whether he should just be called the first dude.
First dude.
And other
The first dude. That's just great. Oh. Plus, technically, it'd be the second dude, Kamala. You just can't wait to get your hands on that presidency. It's the first dude. Well, only if you're president, Kamala, or are you?
other names that I can't repeat on national television.
Harris and Emhoff met in 2013, a blind date set up by a friend of hers.
When you first got the friend who said, there's a guy, maybe
The first gentleman. Like, he likes to be called the first gentleman.
your friends were doing this to you all the time, but there's a guy, and he's a good one, and don't Google him.
Yeah.
You totally Googled him, didn't you?
She Googled the shit out of him. Look at that. She Googled him. She's a Googler.
Ooh, this is a reveal.
I've never been asked that.
Ooh.
I did.
Look at Doug. He's shocked. She Googled me. I can't believe she Googled me. I'm shocked. I'm the first gentleman, and I'm named Doug, and I'm shocked.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, that's so funny you asked me that question. So, yes, my best friend set us up on a blind date. And she said, just trust me. Just don't even, she wanted me to just kind of go into it. And she said, don't Google him. I did.
She found out
That's hilarious. I mean, I don't know how you could keep your laughter in, Kamala. She Googled the guy. Like, she did. She's admitting it, like everybody knows now. The first gentleman, the first dude, the second dude. He's the second dude.
he was a Los Angeles lawyer. Of course, he knew she was California Attorney General. He made the first move.
One of my buddies was in town, and we went to the Laker game. And so, we had a couple of beers. I told him the story. I said, what do you think? I said, text her. So we sat there in the stands. And
Wow, this is an epic interview. Exactly the kind of stuff we need to heal this nation is this interview with Jane Pauley and the first dude, the second dude. Kamala Harris I thought Kamala Harris was the second dude. I don't know, it's so confusing.
came up with this text, which was something like, hey, it's Doug. Awkward. I'm texting you.
Doug's not smooth at all. Doug's like the quintessential cuck, right? He is the quintessential cuck.
You
She
guys
said-
proposed it together?
We did.
Yeah.
So that's my reveal. And she, which is funny, she said something like, yay, Lakers, go Lakers.
And I'm a Warriors
biggest
fan.
Warriors fan out there. So
The next
It's just so crazy. She's cheering for the Lakers when she's actually a Warriors fan. We just heard that. Just heard this with Jane Pauley and CBS Morning News on Sunday morning. You just heard it first. This is breaking. It was broken 2 days ago when she realized that Kamala Harris is actually a Warriors fan. But Doug, when he first texted her, was at the Lakers game. No, this is hard-hitting stuff here. You got to follow me. So he's at the Lakers game, and he wants to text Kamala, but he doesn't know what to do. Him and his, $20,000 Lakers box seat that he's sitting in. And so he's there with a friend, and the guy says, hey, why don't you say, hey, it's me, Doug. Hey. And she texts back, and she says, no, I'm quoting here directly from her mouth, go Lakers. No, she said that. She actually said, go Lakers. This is breaking news. CBS, they're just getting it done here. This is, going to be an epic 4 years with this kind of hard-hitting journalism.
next morning, early, he called.
So I left this ridiculous voicemail, which she has saved and plays back to me on our anniversary every year. I thought I'd never hear from her again, but
But it was just, it was adorable. And it was just, the thing about Doug is that he is exactly who he is. He's just.
Doug is exactly who he is. Doug is not somebody else. That's what everybody loves about Doug. Doug is Doug, and there's no doubt about it. He's Doug. He's obviously an interesting person with an epic personality. And Doug is Doug. He's not somebody else. He's definitely Doug.
Fully authentic and clear about the things he cares about. And it's family, it's his work.
you.
And me.
They married
Wow, it's just a love story of the ages. You know who else is authentic? Trump's.
in 2014, her first. He was by her side as she was elected to the U.S. Senate, where he found
Boom, here he is. He didn't know that he was this guy. JoJo was going to be a big influence in her future. JoJo, Doug and JoJo and Kamala.
out what it's like to be a +1 to a powerful politician.
There were Senate spouses who welcomed me, and I went to some lunches
And plenty of
events.
misters.
Amy Klobuchar's husband, Elizabeth Warren's husband, who kind of put their, arms around me to show me the ropes. And
There are very few husbands that are Senate
Yeah.
spouses, and they do find each other.
M. Hoff
It's like a support group. That's what you need. Doug needs a support group of Senate husbands of senators, because you just need this. This is so interesting. I'm glad that they made, This is what our nation needs right now.
Hoff plans to teach law classes at Georgetown University, much like the incoming First Lady, Jill Biden, who plans to continue as a community college professor.
You strike me as a very centered person. And
Jane Pauley, I mean, where's she been? Like, we just miss her so much. And her epic journalistic skills.
and a calming presence.
Thank you. I understand the role she's taking and the role that Joe and Jill are taking on too, and become very close with them. So like I support her, I support them, and that's important because what they're doing is so much, and they're walking into so many different crises. And the American people hired them for change and to get us out of these things, and I'm going to do everything I can to help them.
With Doug on your side, how can you go wrong? Doug. We need more Doug. Look at it. These guys, their masks, their checkerboard masks. I mean, Doug's there. Doug is the earth beneath our wings.
And to relieve the stress of the Washington pressure cooker,
Great
the
job.
couple hopes to keep cooking.
You're both kitchen people, you cook.
Yeah.
Well,
He has learned.
yeah, no,
He's a good sous chef, except
now.
Yeah.
Out of
He-
necessity.
Exactly. He didn't learn. He learned from her. Now she's a good cooker. He's learning to cook. I mean, again, you heard it first here on CBS News.
During COVID.
and COVID really.
Well, how much cooking will there be in your life to come?
Well, I am charting that course and making sure that, at least for Sunday family dinner, it's too much a part of our family life, and that's important to me to keep that stability.
Kamala Harris is showing off her likability factor. This is why she polled at just under 1% at the end of her run as the presidential candidate in the Democratic National Primary. And this is why she had those epic numbers. And I bet after this interview, she might even poll at 2%. I mean, among Democrats.
And we had to ask about that fashion choice, surely a first for a vice president, the Converse Chuck Taylor sneakers.
No way. She has it right here. Stop Hate, Converse All-Star. She put buttons on these. Black Joy and Love 2020. Even though it's 2021, there's a heart. I think that came with a sneaker. These Chuck Taylors. She's wearing Chuck Taylors. This is breaking news. Get ready for this right here.
The Chucks.
I gotta tell you, when you walked in, I checked out, is she wearing them? You're not wearing your Chucks today.
No.
What is the story?
It became a story. I've always worn Chucks.
It's
Well,
my
what's the
casual.
story?
She's always worn Chucks. It's just crazy. She's always worn them, but now it's a story.
With
It's
the
my
always-
casual go-to. I, grew up with Chucks. I just love them. They're comfortable.
I can't attest.
They're not comfortable. Like, I grew up with Chucks when I was a kid, and then they came out with like Air Jordan style shoes. I played basketball, and they were so much better. That's why, Chuck Taylors are these things people wear to be classic, but there's no give or bounce in the, in the sole of the shoe. And so when you're playing basketball, you need bounce. You need something that's soft between your foot and the, pavement or the basketball floor, or just anything in general. You want some give, right? And so they came up with technology, back in the 80s, and the Chuck Taylors were no longer viable, right? And so, people want to be pretentious and say they're classic, but they're not classic. People want to be retro, and then they get shin splints, right? That's just the kind of dude Kamala Harris is. The first dude wants to be the first dude because she's not genuine. Doug is, though. Doug is the real deal. She's not authentic, but Doug is clearly authentic. You heard it first here on CBS Morning News with Jane Pauley's. Only spirituality will save this world, Doug. It's Parvano, definitely reporting from the Apocalaughs. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.